real estate retreats. And this morning I have my mentor, my coach, the one who's held my hand to say, Michael, continue pushing forward. Her name is Marykie Paiser. She's going to put us through some of the basics and the theory and other things. So everything you want to learn about real estate, these are the people. She has been in the industry for a while. When I say for a while,
20 years.
20 years. You see now that when you have a captain like her in front, so what else are you waiting for? What else? So, okay, this one you enjoy our section. I'm also going to be here learning, writing things down. And please write. So that when you write, you can go back to the books and say, okay, I remember this one, and you were being taught by her, and then you just open the book and get what was there. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks. Morning, everyone. It's so lovely to be here. Thank you for your time, and I hope you are excited about this year as I am. So I want to start, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself because it sounds very impressive. I've been in the industry for 20 years. I started right after school. My mom's in real estate, my sister, my mom's husband. And to me, you must live, eat, sleep real estate. It's a mindset. But the reason I'm also telling you that is I made some changes in my life recently. I moved to Joburg, I moved back end of last year. And when you make these kinds of changes, you start over. When you don't have listings, you start over. So even though I have had 20 years of experience, every time there is a hurdle in your life or things change or you are sick or you go on holiday, my business starts from ground zero. When I came back from Joburg, I also started my own real estate agency. So we're a small company, we call it Big Pond Real Estate, and what we do is my business partner flips properties. So he looks for the oldest, most disgusting properties, mostly in the New East, because that's where his team is, buys those properties, fixes them up, he's got a really good eye, and then he resells them. So you see what I just did there. I use every opportunity. Doesn't matter who it is, if it's real estate agents, if I'm at a wedding, if it's clients, to make sure people know what do I do and what my business looks like. Because tomorrow you walk into one of those horrendous properties, I call them the ones with the crocodile in the swimming pool. You know, it's so green you don't even know what's alive in there. Then you must say, this is exactly what Marykie wants, and you phone me and we get excited and we see, because usually we buy them even before they go to market. Because it's difficult to also market those kinds of properties. So please keep it in mind, but mostly keep in mind that it's a mindset that you must have to always think of every interaction you have as an opportunity to build a relationship. A friend was in training with a different company yesterday of someone that had, in 2020, he had an 80% market share. And she says to me, Marykie, I don't understand, this guy says he doesn't believe in cold calling. I still believe in cold calling. I said, how did he do it? And she said, relationship building. He took personalized written birthday cards to all his clients. He knew their dogs' names, their family, the wife, the husband, the kids, their birthdays, and that is how he built his relationship. Now I think in the last 25 years things have changed a little bit. It's very time consuming as much as I want to. I'm not going to do a written birthday card for everyone. But I'm very diligent in going on Facebook every morning and writing everyone a message and knowing whose birthday is and when. It's a very easy way, for example, to just stay in contact. So although a big part of what we want to talk about today is lead generation, I don't want you to think about it as this mountain of cold calling and that is all it is. Relationship building today looks a lot different. The groundwork and the startup for it is lead generation and cold calling. But as soon as you get that person to be part of your network and your relationship building, the easier it becomes. I'm at the stage where it takes 10 calls to maybe get a listing appointment. When you start out, maybe it's going to take 20 or 30. Some days it's going to take 40 or 50 calls. Other days it's going to take less calls. So think of it as a long-term commitment that you're making. My mom always said it's like a plane that you need to get off the ground. Get that plane off the ground takes a lot of effort and a lot of input. But once you are in the air, you must just stay consistent, and then this just gets easier and easier as you go along and your relationships get stronger. Okay. So let's start with why, and I'm just going to move this chair. And the reason I want to start with why is because we're all here to make money, right? Who wants to make money? Me. It's not about the money, it's about what we want to do with the money. And this is one of the biggest things I think I've learned in my career is you need to be very, very clear about why. Why do you get up in the morning? Why the days you do not feel like making the calls and you've got excuses? Why are you going to get up and you're going to do it anyway? So be very clear about what that looks like, and I call this the lotto dream. If you ask yourself the question, if you win the lotto tomorrow, what are you going to do with that money? Maybe you have the answer in your head, very clearly, it looks like it, eh? Maybe you don't, but go sit down and be very purposeful about that, because there's no other industry in which you can become successful and build a life as easily, we don't want to say as easily, but as successfully in real estate. You need no degree, you need no nothing, you need commitment, consistency, and a good mindset, and then you can completely change your life. So I'm going to talk you through, we call it the 135 or the GPS, okay, so to help you find your way. And this is a Keller Williams tool, it works really well, but it's a very basic goal setting tool that I still use today. Every time I start over like now, I sit down, I go back to basics and I say, right, what does my market look like? What does my goals look like? What does that look like for me every single day in my commitment and my consistency? Because we start here, we break it down to reach what we want to reach at the end of the day. So I'm going to help you to figure out this GPS and what that looks like. But I have 3 testimonials that I want to give you. The first one is my own. I told you about the business that I started recently. My business partner's name is Marykie Paiser. He's got a very good eye. He's very good with social media. He's very artistic, and he does things at a very high level. In 2021, I have never met Henny then. I didn't know what his business really looked like, but I saw him flipping properties in my area. He's got a very distinct style. He uses a lot of black walls, paints the roofs black, very modern black taps, and people started noticing him. And I said, who's this guy? My goal for this year is I want to go into business with him. I'm going to sell him a property. And I walked into one of his building sites and he said, who are you? No one is allowed on my building site. What are you doing here? Because no one sees his properties while he's still busy. He only lets you come and view the show house. And I introduced myself and I said, tell me what you want. What does your business look like? And I started looking for old properties in Hashfontein. Now, there's about 5,100 properties in Hashfontein, about 300 sell a year, and only 10 of them are full titles under 1.5, which is the pricing bracket he buys in. So there's only 10 properties that is going to suit his needs, which he's maybe not all going to buy them or they're going to be motivated enough, but that is what I'm looking for. And I went on a mission and I started looking for these properties, and I sold him a property, and then 2 years later I sold him another property. In the market with 2 other agents. I said, Henny, what are you looking for? He said, I want to create shared office space. I want a house where we can work and where I have other people that also work so that we've got an office space. I found I didn't even have the listing and I sold that property to him. So through this process of us doing business together, I hired him for social media, learned about his business, him about mine, and then when the time was right, we decided, hey, why don't we start a real estate agency together? Which wasn't part of my goal or his goal. None of us actually wanted to open a real estate agency, but it made sense. And then I realized I'm getting goosebumps. Earlier this year when I set my goals, my memory came up on Facebook of the first show house I attended, and I said, do not underestimate the value of being purposeful about your goals. Because I set a goal 4 years ago, and now I've achieved even more than I thought was possible at that stage. The second one I want to tell you is at one of the previous companies I worked, I interviewed a lady, her name was Martha. She was older, she struggled with tech. I still remember the day she came in for an interview. She got lost from the taxi. I went to go pick her up. We couldn't get her computer started, and I said, Martha, what is your lotto dream? What are you going to do with all the money you're going to make in real estate? She said, Marykie, I'm buying a chicken farm in Limpopo. I want to farm with chickens, and that is going to be my legacy. My family is going to inherit this from me, and I'm going to build this business. Martha worked for about a year in that office. got a big block of flats in town, sold the whole block of flats, made an insane amount of money. Against all odds, I'm not going to lie to you, like Martha with her limited skills, being older, struggling with technology, she had no limiting beliefs. You could not tell Martha, you're not going to do this, you can't work on a computer, you're not on social media. Martha said, Marykie, I will make this happen. When those units paid out, she resigned and she's got her chicken farm to this day. So dream big. The other one is my sister. This is the last one. She started in real estate, I think it was about 5 years ago. She was on the farm, unhappily married, no reception. She was cold calling for me. Moved to Pretoria with her 2 little kids under 2, earning hardly anything a month. My mom and I were buying groceries for her, and I said to her, sit down, we are going to do your GPS, we're going to set your goals. And her goals was, she wants to pay off her debt, she wants to buy an investment property, pay off her debt, buy an investment property, and buy a new car. And we wrote down all these goals. And I'm an optimist, okay? Everything is amazing until proven otherwise. My sister is a pessimist and a realist. Let me rather say that. She's a realist. And she said, she's younger than me. She said, are you ridiculous? How am I going to do this in 5 years, Marykie? Do you know how much debt I have? And buy a car, and buy an investment property. I said, you're going to write this down, you're going to look at it every day, and you're going to believe that you can do this. 3 years later, she had an investment property and a car, and all her debt was completely paid off. And she actually found that, she only realized that a little bit later, because she found a piece of paper and she phoned me and she said, I can't believe that you put it into my head that I can achieve this. And just with writing it down and putting it there, you're already halfway there, because you must just believe you can do it. Anything is possible, it just starts. Doesn't matter where you come from, what that looks like, what your limits are. You must believe that you can do it, and you can do it. So those are my 3 testimonials. I actually phoned her last night and said she must look for that piece of paper, I want to use it in my training. Okay, so GPS stands for, you've got one goal, okay? I've got a handout for this, and I've got all the slides that I've given to Michael, so he's also welcome to send it to you if you like. But it's one goal, 3 priorities, and 5 strategies. So what we're going to do is you're going to put your one goal at the top. I want to buy a chicken farm. This is how much it's going to cost me, because obviously always there's a monetary value connected to it. And then we're going to get 3 priorities of how we're going to do that. And then you do 5 strategies under each priority. So I'm going to talk you, I've put an example here for you. So if we want to earn 500,000 rands commission, our 3 priorities, priority number 1 is to list 50 million in sales volume. And I worked that out at an average price of $1 million, okay? That sounds hectic, 50 million. Guys, that's 50 listings in 12 months. Like, I actually broke down my goals. My listing goal is 57 million. And I broke down what that means if I want to earn 200,000 rand a month. I have to list 8 properties a month and sell 3. Like, I'm still going to have time to go on holiday. That's not that hectic. But we always think that there's so much that we need to do, but if you break it down in what you need to do today for me, it means 26 phone calls. 26 phone calls, then it's going to take me a year to phone through the entire Gauteng and speak to them once. So 200,000 rand, 26 phone calls. If I get up in the morning and I don't feel like making my calls, or if I like book myself out in the morning, I go home this afternoon. If agent phoned me last week, I said, I'm busy lead generating. It was like 3 in the afternoon. He says, in the afternoon, Marykie, why don't you call in the morning? People answer in the morning. I said, I phone any time of the day. I have a goal. I have to reach it every day. And if I don't reach it, I need to double my numbers tomorrow. So this works for me. Don't have limiting beliefs about it. So my 5 strategies to get to listing 50 million that I've listed as an example, you can break it down on what that looks like for you. But the number 1 thing I want you to walk away with is the consistency of getting into time blocking. Now, time blocking is saying, I don't answer my WhatsApps, my emails, my anything else, unless the house is burning down from 9 to 12, my time blocking is 9 to 12, you are not going to get hold of me. Because what is the one thing I must do every day that is going to make everything else easier or unnecessary? If I have listings, my life is okay, because with listings comes the momentum and everything else I need. I can want all the sales and all the whatever in the world. If I don't sit down and get the listings in, none of those other things can happen. So I make it my one thing every day, to go back to basics and say, I need to time block and lead generate every single day. You can look at my phone. If you open my calendar, I left it out so I can show you, because if I don't do it, I feel guilty. So every day, and I put it in red, 9 to 12 in my calendar, it says lead generation, so that if I book anything over it, immediately I remember, can we rather make the appointment after 12? Because I consciously need to get my brain back into the consistency of saying 9 to 12 is my time for lead generation. If a client wants to book me in that time, I tell him I've already got other appointments, because I have already got other appointments with myself to grow my business. And if I don't do that, then I'm not going to be able to attain my goals. So wherever possible, I don't book over the 9 to 12. We've got Multinet CEO that wants to meet us next week. I said to my partner, listen, after 12, because now I need to train him. He cannot bug me before 12 in the mornings, because I'm busy generating my business. So you need to be strict on your self-discipline with yourself, and teach the people around you. Like my colleagues know they don't phone me before 12. And I'm lead generating, and then soon it becomes like second nature. If by 12 o'clock you haven't spoken to 20 people, like something's wrong with your day. So you must get yourself consistently to that kind of space that it becomes second nature that you lead generate. If you're having a bad day, and I don't feel like calling today, or whatever the case may be, then I'll commit to sending out WhatsApps to my network, and I'll send like 2 or 3 times that amount of WhatsApps, rather, to people I know, not people I don't know, because then WhatsApp blocks you, and that is a whole nother disaster on its own. But then commit to doing something else that is going to keep you within that consistency. So the number one is time block. The second one, my goal is 26, so I use this as an example. Make 26 calls a day to potential clients. 26 people that you must speak to. And this is where my mentor is good for me. His name is Shane. He says, Reiki, because initially I made my goal 10, okay? Full transparency. And I spoke to him, we went for lunch, we chatted about our goals, and he said, 10 calls a day. You want to make 10 calls a day? And I said to him, why it should be 26? He says, no, you can make 26 calls a day. You must just chit-chat more, chit-chat less, okay? Because I know you like with your clients. Go in and say 26 calls. You can make 26 calls in an hour. I said, Shane, are you crazy, in an hour? He said, yes. Just be purposeful. Put everything else aside. Put everything that they ask you on the call and the valuation aside, and just focus on getting the 26 people that you speak to done in that hour. And I said, okay, you're right. I'm upping my goal to 26 calls. I can do it. And then maybe I should just pause and add to that. It's about progress, not about perfection. I was sick the whole week last week. My WhatsApp got switched off one day. My power was off another day. And Friday I messaged Shane, because he checks in with me or I check in with him. I've made him my accountability partner. I said, Shane, listen, you can have reasons or results, you can't have both. My week was chaos. I don't know what went on. I only made 8 calls today, but I've got 1 listing appointment. This is the amount of numbers I need to do extra next week to make up for this. Because if I don't do this, I'm going to feel it in 3 months' time. And I'll talk about the accountability maybe on the next one. So prepare and capture your data daily for lead generation. When you sit down to call, you don't want to worry where the numbers are. You want to sit, dial, put down. Sit, dial, put down. Nothing else must distract you. If someone's number doesn't work or something, go on to the next one. When you sit down to lead gen, it's just about the number of contacts that you make. So don't let the admin and the other things distract you, because you know we've got a very good skill of busyness. We come to the office and we sit here the whole day and we tell ourselves, we know we're working, I was at the office the whole day. It's easy to be busy the whole day. It takes consistency and commitment to be purposeful the whole day. And to walk out, when I worked, I was still with my mom at ERA. A lady and I, they used to sit in the office until 8, 9 o'clock at night. Because we just said, if we don't have enough numbers in our system to phone for the rest of the week, we are going to sit here until we have them. Otherwise, we're not going to get the listings. If I don't get the listings, I can't pay my rent. I can't do anything else. Without listings, there's too much. Everything is just get another listing on your books. And that makes all your problems go away. So my fourth strategy to list 50,000 sales volume is to perfect the listing presentation to attract higher value clients. So I'm starting over, I'm putting my whole listing pack together from scratch. So I want to build on that, I know what must be in there. It becomes a negative when you've been in this industry for a long time because you become relaxed. Because I can walk into a listing and I can tell you everything out of my head and impress you. But I'm going to be way more impressive if I have a good listing presentation. I have something to lead you. I have something to show you. I'm professional and I bring that with. So part of my accountability to myself is to get the paperwork back on track of what I want to take with me. Then network with local businesses and community events to expand my client base. That is the eat, sleep, dream, live real estate. Every opportunity. Guys, I went, there's a new little shopping center around the corner from me. And with my lead gen, I was WhatsApping people, and there was one guy, his name is Bassem. I remembered him, he had a little restaurant somewhere. I met him like an Egyptian place. I walked into the shopping center, I saw on TikTok there's this nice Cairo kitchen. Went in, I introduced myself to the guy, he said his name is Bassem. I said, hey, wait, I sent you a WhatsApp yesterday. He says, yes, you sell property. I'm looking for a commercial space. So don't underestimate how powerful that networking is. Like in the bottle store, at the nappy party, wherever I go, it's always real estate, real estate, real estate. My friends laugh at me because they know me. Because I'm like, hi, I'm Marykie. Oh, really? What do you do? Really? Where do you live? And then my friends burst out laughing. Because if I meet someone new, they wait for the where do you live question. And then I tell them, I'm in real estate. If you ever need anything or hear about anyone that wants to sell, guys, and just the consistency of, I only lead generated half of December. I started consistently with WhatsApp. And now from last week, people have started tagging me in Facebook. If they see posts, they send it to me. If they hear of things, they send it to me. Because this is just my network that I'm tapping into. And I know the faster I get consistent with this, the better it's going to be. And the more referrals I'm going to get. And a lot of them at the moment, because I'm not focusing just on my farming area, I'm focusing on my network of people I know. It's commercial and other areas, but I'm referring them. Someone sold something in Joburg yesterday, she let me know, I worked out, I'm like, ooh, 5,000 rand referral commission, that's fantastic. So give those things away. If they're out of your sphere of your expertise, or it's commercial, or plot, or something like that, I tell people, I'm not going to be the best person to help you, I'm going to send you the best person. I refer it to that agent, let them make referral commission, and I focus on what I know I do best. So let's go on to our second priority. So the second priority is to sell 20 million in sales volume. So guys, if you list 50 million in sales volume, selling 20 million for the year, that's not even half. Do you think that is a realistic goal? Your goal must be uncomfortable. If you tell it to someone and they don't laugh at you, it's not big enough. But there's a sweet spot. It mustn't be 500 million and your brain knows I'm never going to do that, that's unrealistic, there's not enough hours in the day. It must also not be comfortable, like I can't tell myself I'm going to sell 12 houses in a year, because that's not pushing my limits. I need to sell 50 houses in a year to push my limits. And keep book of these things, because you're going to start seeing patterns in your production, in your months. Like I know what are my high listing months, what are my low listing months, my high sales months, good years, bad years. But just consistently go on and keep those numbers so that you can realize what that looks like in your business. So to sell 20 million, I said I want to do 2 show houses a month. Price counsel with clients once a month, so that I'm purposefully remembered to price counsel. Once a month, I look at my listings and I say, a 10 listing is one that I'm likely to sell, 9 less likely, 8. And you give them a rating. And you say, which is the one that I'm more likely to sell? Who's my motivated seller? So that I know where to spend my time and my marketing and my show houses of where my income is likely gonna come from. And then price counsel once a month. And price counseling is not just necessarily one call. Price counseling happens subtly throughout. From the day you go with your listing presentation and you give a price to, I've got one now, I started listing it last year. I did a listing presentation there almost 2 years ago, and they phoned me. I had 3 like this in the last month. And I realized, Marykie, you're not doing your job. Why are your clients that you haven't spoken to in 2 years phoning you to tell you they want to give you business? The one lady said, I lost your number, I had to go look you up on Facebook to find your number, and I thought, I'm so embarrassed because I was supposed to stay in contact. So price counseling happens throughout the whole time, keeping people updated, what's going on in the market. This guy's property is worth 950. I told him that. His wife wants to go to market at 115. I said, no problem. We'll do your price for 2 weeks, then we do my price. I struggled to get the mandate, but I could feel the husband and the wife can't get to the same page about what we must market at. And yesterday he messaged me and he said, Marykie, I think we must just go to market at 995. Because if something else comes into the market, I let him know. I had one couple at his property. I said, these are the positives, these are the negatives, this is what they think about the price. So you must subtly throughout get their heads at where the price is right. And you must know your market to know how to do that and what is selling and how many times it sits on the market. And then once a month, purposefully, you sit and you phone through everyone and you blatantly price counsel them. Mr. Seller, right now we are just on the market, we're not in the market. There's no movement, this. I think we should drop the price. If you don't want to drop the price, let's withdraw from the market and go back to the drawing board, because now my expectations and your expectations are not being met. So purposely price counseling at least once a month, setting 4 listing appointments per week. Does this sound like a lot to you? It's not a lot. It's 1 a day for 4 workday week. Like Friday I can take half day. My business partner takes off every Friday, he plays golf. And he lives a very good life. And I'm like, yo, you've worked hard and consistently to get there. I also want to get to the point where I can take every Friday off to play golf. So 4 listing appointments this week. So that means 4, 8, 12, 16 for the month. If I get to the middle of the month and I'm behind, then I need to do 6 appointments. Then I need to work an extra day. Then I need to double book. It's not, oh, we didn't do 4 last week, we just have to do 4 this week. If you didn't do 4 last week, you need to do 8 this week. If you erase, you must replace. If you didn't call yesterday, you must do double the amount of calls today, or 5 extra each day this week. Because that is what's going to set you apart from the other people in the industry. That's what's going to create the consistency, and that is what's going to build that constant self-discipline in you. My 4th one is utilizing social media marketing to showcase listings. Guys, this is also, I think it's a long-term commitment, and don't underestimate the value of people that are online and where they come from. A WhatsApp status update, it's fine. You don't have to be on Facebook and TikTok. Well, if you're on TikTok now and you're in America, you just lost 180 million followers. So it also shows you we need to be on different channels, because in this day and age, the communication changes like this and the channel means nothing. So even if it's one channel that works for you, if you just do WhatsApp status updates, just be consistent. And there in December, like, I can check out if I need to go on holiday. Last year was hard, it was long, it was... So December I said I'm out. Closed everything, disappeared off social media. By the 2nd week of January, people started to phone me, Marykie, are you okay? We don't see anything on social media. Marykie, are you right? Where are you? People started phoning me and they're like, why aren't we getting updates? So you think people aren't taking notice and they're not commenting and liking. You know how you watch everything else on social media, right? Everyone else is watching you. So even if it's you just commit to WhatsApp status update every day. And that can be personal. It's people that know you. So it can be personal stuff, whatever you like posting about. Be a reporter. If it's of your own life, of your community, you throw a little listing or something in between just to remind people you own property. That's not necessarily your advertising space. I mean, we get our leads from P24. All the other channels keep you top of mind. It adds to your lead generation. I bump into people and they're like, oh, we saw this. So just consistently be present in the online environment. Collaborate with other agents for co-marketing opportunities. I don't know if you guys like to network. That's one of my goals. I do a lot of business with other people. And then my third priority is, I use the example of I want to rent a bigger space. I'm in a very small space at the moment, a lovely garden, but I'm getting my head around, I know I need to kind of make a change in that area. So what does that look like, and how does that tie into my business goals? I want to save a specific amount monthly to cover a deposit, maybe more furniture, maybe like to add on and pay rent up front a little bit. So I consistently think of that, so that when I don't want to make the calls today, I'm like, Marykie, your kitchen's too small, your kitchen's too small. Remember that, just phone another person, because that's what's going to get you to that personal goal. So not all these strategies, all the priorities have to be 100% business focused. Do maybe 2 business focused. I like to do like listings and sales goal and what that looks like in 5 steps. But make one personal about going on a holiday or your health or your family or something like that. Because at the end of the day, that is what the money for your first two priorities, that's what it's going to mean for you when you attain those goals. So I'll maybe look for a housemate, look for affordable rental options and searching in other suburbs, research to attend viewings so long and see what's in the market, and then hire an accountability partner to stay on track with saving and rentals. And I underlined this one because apart from lead generation, I think the biggest thing that has made a difference in my real estate career is having an accountability partner. Okay? So this is not about Shane phoning me at the end of the day and saying, Marykie, how many calls did you make? It's about me feeling guilty. I am my own accountability. But knowing someone is going to phone me at the end of the day and I have to tell them what I did, and either I'm going to feel proud or embarrassed about it. On Friday, guys, I was so sick. I sent Shane a message in the afternoon. I'm like, I only made 8 calls, 1 WhatsApp. I'm busy with an offer to purchase. I know I can do better. And I realized when I stood back, the amount of stress I put on myself on that day to just like, I can't phone him and tell him I did nothing. I can't, like, I feel too embarrassed. And it's not about him. It's going to make no difference to his life how many calls I'm going to make. But it's about putting that pressure on myself of being accountable to my goals. And going through this process made me realize how important those basics are. So get an accountability partner. My business partner, he laughed at me because I said to him, Shane's my accountability partner. He checks in every day. And he looked at me. I said, no, Henny, you can't be my accountability partner. You are way too nice and too accommodating and too understanding. I can't have you as my accountability partner. I need someone that's going to phone me. What did you do today, Marykie? How many calls did you make? And then he knows he must ask me, how do you feel about that? And I must answer him, how do I feel about that? I feel horrible because I know I can do better. I feel terrible because I didn't prep last night. Saying those things, consciously being aware of them, is what helps you make the adjustments to say, listen, I'm going to prep this weekend so I'm ready for next week so I don't have this kind of week again. I'm going to have better commitment. So it establishes me and my consistency by having that. So hire someone as your accountability partner. Hire someone that understands your goals, that knows where you are going, and that is going to make you feel guilty if you don't put the work in, that knows how much you can get done. And if they, like Shane doesn't have to phone me either at the end of the day. Either I hear from him, if I don't, I phone him and I tell him, this is what I've done, this is what I've done, this is what I've done. So get that consistency in place. Okay. Then let's start with why. So the calls you make will show up in your bank account in 3 months. This line has always stuck in my head. Take these goals. I'm going to give you all a sheet like this. I printed a copy for everyone. Stick it up somewhere. I even take those little cards so that I can put one up in my car, on my mirror. Your brain must consciously, subconsciously be reminded of this the whole time. I never diet, and last year I started to cut out wheat and sugar. And the hardest part for me was remembering to do it, because I eat what I want. But then we go to church, and I have all those snacks. Next thing I'm standing with a pie in my mouth, and I'm like, I forgot I'm not allowed to eat the pie. So it's that training your brain to say, remember to do this, remember to do this, remember to do this. So create that consistency. It takes about 21 to 66 days, and then a new habit is formed. Just say, don't put it in your mouth, don't put it in your mouth, don't put it in your mouth. So you remember, make your calls, make your calls, make your calls. You can have reasons or results. You can't have both. We all have reasons. We all have a story. We all have sick kids. We all get sick. We're all broke. We all have all these reasons in life. There's always reasons. We can justify anything. But if you have reasons, you can't have results. So be accountable. Take responsibility. The day you have an off day, you take responsibility and you say, I had an off day. This was not my best. I know I can do better. But I showed up. I was here. I made my calls. Next week, I'm going to be better. So remember that you focus on the results. Reasons are reasons. They're not going to give you money in 3 months' time in your bank account. Okay. Then upskill daily. Guys, I want to challenge you to do this. And this is also hard. Like I set a goal for, I used to read consistently, and I realized I stopped reading consistently because we're just online the whole time, reading articles and blogs and watching stuff. So I made a commitment of how many books I want to read this year to upskill myself. It's very easy to outperform people around you because I can use the example of, there's another guy that sells a course in crypto, I think it is, and it's an expensive course. It's about 10,000 Rand for the course. And he said to us, the interesting thing is 80% of people that buy his course never watches it. They don't even log in. But people feel better spending the money, telling themselves they are investing in themselves, they are going to do this for themselves, and then they literally never watch the course. I think it's ridiculous to think 80% of this guy's business, actually no one is using it. But that is how we fool ourselves, is we say we're going to do these things, but we don't do them. So say I'm going to read 1 book this year, or 2 pages a day, or 10 pages a week, or I'm just going to check the business tech articles every day, which has got amazing information about real estate all the time. And just commit to something to upskill yourself. Because those few hours that you're putting in extra set you apart from the rest of the people in your industry who you think are putting in the effort, but who are very likely not. So then your numbers to achieve your goals, have a consciousness of what your conversions are. And at the beginning of real estate, this is maybe hard, you're thinking of 110 other things, but if you don't have measurables in your business, you don't know where to make adjustments, okay? So keep book, even if it's just, I do it in my diary, I just make little tabs, marks of how many calls I make every day. It doesn't have to be complicated. But how many calls do you make? So that if you page back at the end of the month, you can see I make 20 calls, 1 appointment, 40 calls, 2 appointments. Then you're going to start seeing the pattern. Then you're going to start knowing, hey, I only have to make 20 calls to get 1 appointment. So on your off days, you know what that looks like. And if you want to adjust your goals, you know what that looks like. If you want to double your income, you know. All that means is 20 calls must become 40. Or 20 calls need better script so that 20 calls gives me 2 appointments. So if you know your numbers, you know where you must make adjustments in your business. Then your appointment to listing. At the end of the month, Michael wants to know how many calls did you make, how many appointments did you book, how many listings did you get, how many sales did you do. 4 easy measurables. Because if you are doing 50 listing appointments a month and you're not getting listings, something is wrong with your listing presentation. Then we know what to look at. But if you don't measure these small things in your business, you don't know what's working, what's not working, where you need to make adjustments. So I always keep book of this. I know what my conversion ratios are, so I know where to set my goals. And then you see where you need to upskill yourself. And then what is your listings to sales ratio? So the average listings to sales ratio in the industry is 1 to 10. For every 10 properties you list, you're going to sell at least 1. So I know that I had to work on, I don't want to list 10 properties and sell 1. I want to get to a better exclusive mandate and listing presentation skill, because if I list 10, I want to sell 5. So know what that looks like, then you know where to upskill and where to make the adjustments. We want to work smarter, not harder, right? So know your numbers so you can be purposeful. I just want to check. Okay, so that's your numbers. Then your market numbers. Guys, what is the interest rate at the moment? You're not allowed to answer. Woo! I'm glad, you must know. Michael's like, guys, come on, just don't disappoint me. You must always know what the interest rate is. You must always know when the hikes are coming up. And I don't even know how the conveyancing process works yet. Come on, let's be honest with each other. It can be daunting. And I just started listening and learning how to. I had a lecturer at university, she always used to say, you just waffle intelligently. So learn how to talk the talk. Just saying to your client, next week Wednesday they're going to announce the interest rate cut. That sounds great. It sounds like you are someone that keeps his ear on the ground of what is going on in the market. And this doesn't take a lot of effort. Listen to a little bit of news, subscribe to Business Tech Online. I just read the property articles. I don't care about the exchange rate and the this and the that and the gold, and if America sneezes, South Africa gets cold. I'm like, just give me the article so I can sound clever, please. Did you know everyone is moving back from Cape Town to Gauteng? I pick up one or two things just so that I have an awareness of what's going in the market. And then it becomes second nature. You learn how to listen, how to talk, what your numbers are, what the market numbers are, the more you just become aware of them. So how many properties in my farming area is in the market and in the suburb? Guys, I'm shocked at how many times I've given how is the market training, and that never ever an agent is able to answer this question. And it's so easy. You go onto Property 24, trends, and then your suburbs. You just Google Property 24, I say Gauteng trends. And then you look at the statistics and the things there. It tells you how many listings are in the market. It tells you how many 3-bedrooms sell a year. And if you revise that before you go to a listing presentation, you walk in there with ammunition in your gun. You walk in there prepared. And you can say, Mr. Seller, you know what, 300 properties sell in Gauteng every year. Only, and it's so fascinating to then know what's going on. And we have a ceiling price in Gauteng of 3 million. Okay, properties in Gauteng don't sell over 3 million. There's maybe 2 or 3 a year. Now it's easy for me to price counsel my client that wants to go to the market at 3.5. Looking at my market and doing an overview last year in December, I realized 9 properties sold last year in Gauteng for over 3 million. My ceiling price has gone up to 3.2. The highest one that sold was 3.5, which is a record number. Gauteng properties don't sell for those numbers. But now I'm starting to realize we can list for a little bit higher. We can push that a little bit over 3 million. And also just to know what kind of expectation is created in the market, because a lot of the times people, like I speak to the other agents as well and ask them if they sell something and I see it sold on Property 24, I phone them and I congratulate them and I say, what did you sell it for? Part of my market research, part of my networking. The agent knows me, I know what place is sold for. Then I realized this property was marketed at 1,999, sold for 135. So when I walk into my next listing and the guy wants to, okay, there was a very rundown property, but it helped me at my next rundown property because that guy thinks he can get 1.9. I said, sir, around the corner in Margate Street, look at this listing online, it compares with your property, actually it has a nicer kitchen. You think it's sold for 1.99 because it's the advertising price, but the sales price is 135. So keep an eye out on these things. The gap between listing price and marketing price in Gauteng has doubled in the last year. People used to overprice by just over 100,000. Last year they overpriced by 280,000. It's my price counseling tool because I know my numbers and what is going on in the market. So familiarize yourself with those statistics. Don't be scared of them. Use them to your advantage, because the matter of the fact is hardly any agents do this. It's very, very easy to stand out in this industry. It takes just a little bit of consistent effort and then you're better than everyone else. Like, forget the boards and the this and the that you see out there. Most people are not willing to put in the effort. You need to be part of the 20% that wants to put the effort in. So make sense of those trends, your competition, what that looks like, because the biggest thing that it's going to do is it's going to boost your confidence. And personally, I can really say that digging into these things in the market and becoming aware has boosted my confidence. Because if you ask me how's the market like, I can tell you, you see, under 1.5, over 3 million. Ask me any of those questions about another suburb and I'm going to be like, I don't know. Because it's not my focus area. My focus area is Gashfontein. I know what goes on there. I know a little bit what goes on in the surrounding suburbs. I don't take listings in other areas anymore because it takes double the amount of work for me to do the research. I'm much more efficient if I stay where I need to focus, where I know what goes on. The rest I refer and I pass on to the expert in the area. But that is how you become the expert in the area and the trusted person in the area. Okay. And it shows you where to focus your efforts. It doesn't help you trying to sell, like my neighboring suburb that I also canvass is Newlands, but I know I can't just focus in Newlands. Newlands only has 12 sales. Someone told me, Shane, my mentor, Marykie, Newlands, everyone forgets about Newlands. I said, yes, it's great. I used to have a 30% market share in Newlands. The problem is there's only 12 sales. So I'm per year. So that's a very, very small income potential for me. So I know, I can, and it's not that many houses. It's probably, let's say, 1,500 houses. But my lead generation efforts that I have to put in there to make a living is not worth it. So it's like my sideline little suburb. My main focus is Gashfontein. I know what I need to do there. This one I'll do as little extras. And it's also an area where they overprice much more hectic. So then remember, you are in the relationship building business. Our aim is always a referral or an appointment or a relationship. Keep this in mind when you lead gen, because you're going to put the phone down after your 50 calls tomorrow and you're going to say, I didn't even get one lead, one appointment. It wasn't a successful day. If you have 5 people that said, listen, you can phone me again in 3 months, you're starting to build the relationship. If you've got someone that says, like I WhatsApp people, and it can be so mind-numbing, I find it so boring. Because then I send like 170 WhatsApps a day, but people reply and they're like, thanks Marykie, I'll let you know. Thanks Marykie, I'll let you know. Now, in January, those people are coming back and saying, oh, by the way, now I want to sell. Oh, my friend wants to sell, because I checked in. So you just want the responses. Everyone's not going to want to list now, but I'm here to help people, and I need them to know when they're ready, I'm ready. No pressure. I'm here when you're here, but it's my work to remind you that I'm here, that I'm ready when you are ready. And there's nothing worse than your neighbor getting in the for sale or sold board, and the agent, you want to be mad at the neighbor. Why didn't you call me to list my house? Why didn't you keep in contact with the neighbor? If my client phones me after 2 years that I haven't spoken to them, I put the phone down and my disappointment is in myself. Because can you think how much business I'm losing because I'm not being consistent with my database? But my clients are phoning me, I've forgotten them, but they're phoning me for a listing, and I'm like, Marykie, how much business is falling on the floor because you are not doing your follow-ups consistently? And it was a wake-up call for me. Someone having to tell me I had to go look you up on Facebook. I'm like, no, I'm doing something wrong. I need to make some changes and go back to basics. So then, I just want to touch on this myth and the truth, because I keep having this. When we lead generate, we're annoying people. Someone said to me yesterday, I have another agent there in our shared space, and she said, no, you don't lead generate on a Monday. People are too busy on a Monday. I'm like, yeah, they're even busy on a Tuesday because they're working to get everything done they didn't get done on Monday. You can think up any story to justify not making the calls. People don't answer their phones on a Friday. You know what? My best lead generation has been on a Friday afternoon. People go out, have 2 beers, they're super friendly, they like to chat and like, here's my listing. Monday morning, all the moms that are not working, people that are older, they all sit at home on a Monday morning. How do you know who's sitting on the other side of the telephone call you're going to make? Now you want to decide Monday mornings, Friday afternoons, this afternoons doesn't work, mornings doesn't work. Any time is a good time to phone. Someone's going to answer the phone. Someone is at home. Someone is waiting to sell their house. You must do your numbers until you find the people that you need to help. So for me, it's a mindset. I never ever think that I'm annoying people by phoning them. I have the mindset of going, who can I help today? I just need the person to find the person that needs my help. So keep that in mind and don't be discouraged at all. If someone puts the phone down in my ear, I'm like, oh, Shane, he had a fight with his wife this morning or something, absolutely nothing to do with me, and I just find the next friendly person. You become resilient, you smile, you wave, and you're like, one yes, one no closer to a yes. My sister wants to clock me when she hears that. She's like, I know. Just keep going. It's not. You can only go through so many no's. Somewhere is the yes. You must just find it. And then end every call by asking for a referral. Do you perhaps have any friend or neighbors that might want a property valuation or are thinking of buying or selling? I'm bad at this. After 20 years in the industry, I still forget how to do this. Go back to basics, I focus again on my GPS, I start asking for this, and then I'm like, look where the business is coming from. What is happening? Because you must be purposeful about doing this. The referral thing works. We don't ask. So every single call, do you know anyone else? Do you know anyone else that wants to buy, sell, or invest? When I put the phone down, I always WhatsApp my details to people. Because then tomorrow they're not going to remember your name or your agency or anything. They're just going to say, oh, some agent my calls. I said, no, we spoke last year in June before you were on your way on holiday to Stillboy. So this guy can't remember me. It takes 7 consistent contacts before someone even remembers you. So he can't remember me. Now he's having a bad day. He wants to say, where did you get my number? And I just go, no, you remember when you... Oh, okay, no, sorry, I don't want to sell my house. So to me, the history and the note keeping is important because it's part of the relationship building. Even if it's in your diary, you can remember where, you go page through things in the notes you made. So I like to keep notes. And then come from contribution. You're never bugging people. You're always there to help them, update them, send them similar listings, interest rate updates. I always post interest rate updates. Pick one thing and be consistent. Even if it's just posting a business tech article on your WhatsApp every week. You think people are watching, no one's commenting, and then you'll see if you stop posting, they say, where's our market updates? Or what's happening now? Why are we not getting this? So do find something, do it consistently and add that value to people to create a little bit of awareness to them. And the same with market trends. If a listing comes in the market, I immediately think which of my clients has got a similar property. And I send it to them and I let them know. This was just listed for 2 million. This was just listed for 1.9. Because what am I doing? I'm getting him ready for the market. I'm price counseling. I'm coming from contribution. I'm adding value and letting him know. He doesn't have to go look on P24 what's in the market. And now what am I doing? I'm not cold calling. I'm not lead generating purposefully by saying I have to call him. Instead of calling him again in 6 months or 3 months saying, do you want to sell your house? I'm sending a WhatsApp to say, look at what is in the market. I thought of you when I saw this listing. Now, we call it touches. You want to touch as many people as possible. So find different ways of touching them. Because I'm arranging boxes for one lady now and this for someone else. Because it doesn't always have to be about property. It's just about adding value in some kind of way so that you stay in contact. The more you stay in contact, the more you're on top of mind. When they want to sell their house, they phone me. I always am the walking yellow pages. What do you need? An electrician, an aircon conditioner? What do you need? A list of schools? Do you need boxes? Sometimes it's so unrelated to property. I just want to laugh. Like I help people rehome their dogs and this and that. But what happens? If they have a property need, they come back to me. So I'll help you with anything else. Just phone me to sell your house. And then have fun. Be confident. The worst thing that can happen is that the phone gets put down in your ear. Come on. Worst things have happened. Worst things have happened. It's just another phone call. It's just another person that you can't help. And it's just bringing you closer to your goals. So never get discouraged by the rejection. We don't like rejection. It's not part of our human nature to like rejection. But you have entered the industry where you need to be resilient against rejection. Not everything works out. Not everything falls into place. My previous mentor always used to say, and I used to get mad at him. Just want to think of the line quickly. It's going to come to me now. If a deal fell through, like he had no sympathy for you. It was just like, pick yourself up, next. Don't be attached to the outcome. That was always the thing he said. Don't be attached to the outcome. You can't be attached to the outcome in this industry. You're going to have deals that don't work out. You do not have the luxury to go lie down for a whole week and lick your wounds. You have entered the industry where things don't work out. But man, when they work out, it's a reward. You can make 3 times your brother or your sister's salary in this industry if you are consistent. Who else is in an industry where they have that potential that they can, that they can do that? So don't be attached to the outcome. If the bad things happen, the bad falls, the deals fall through, take a moment, cry, wipe off your tears, and go find the next one. Go replace it. Don't let that stall your momentum. Okay. Then develop the strategy. So we are gonna. Hey, are you laughing?
Yes, I'm laughing at him because you always get rejection. That's why I'm laughing. That your word is consoling.
You see, as part of the industry, I don't remember those first few deals. They're hard when they fall through because I've already paid off this. I've booked, you've spent all the money in your head. Then it falls through and you're like, ooh. The momentum Shane also. Listen guys, my pipeline is empty. I don't have listings, I don't have sales, I don't have registrations. I'm literally starting over and gaining momentum again. And Shane always says, Marykie, when nothing goes on your table, you know what you do? You go out and you max out your credit card. I'm like, Shane, how does that work? Because he used to be a sales manager. He had 2 Toyota garages as well. So he managed sales teams. I said, Shane, how does that work? He says, listen, if you know you have to pay all those things at the end of the month, and you have that pressure on you, somehow you make it work. He said, Marykie, my salespeople, when they had good months, I said to them, go buy jet skis, go do this. I pressured them into financial commitments because otherwise they're up, they make money, and then they fall down here, and for 4 months they make nothing. But if I keep them up here with a financial commitment, they have to consistently make money to pay all those things. As soon as they don't have pressure on them, they fall and then they have to climb back up again. So I booked 2 things that I don't have money for at all that are long-term commitments, and I said, Shane, this is what I've done. Maxed out my credit card because now I know there's no way I cannot sell this month. There's no way I can't sell next month because I've made commitments. So there's different ways of doing it, but sometimes we need the pressure on ourselves. Don't go into the comfort zone of, when you have some registrations in the pipeline and you sit back and you're like, the money's coming in, and then something falls through, something happens. But put that pressure on. Make your calls, feed your database, be consistent about everything going into your database and onto your phone. The days you have a bad day and you don't feel like lead gen, I contact my have-mates, my people I know. If I can't deal with rejection today and you get those days, and it's okay, we're human, we all get those days. I don't feel like anything, I'm mad at everyone, nothing's going right, everything's falling apart. Then I'm like, can I just WhatsApp all the people I know that I know are going to be nice to me today? But I cannot skip a day, I cannot not be consistent. Then just change a little bit to give yourself some grace, adjust the cells and go. So plan with your telephone number so that you always have something to do. And schedule this on your calendar and your goal sheet. I showed you. Put it in your calendar so that you're constantly reminded. Fill this in, stick it up. Tell your family what your goals are. My boys know exactly what my goals are, how many houses I need to sell. In the holiday, they're now 8 and 11, turning 11. I put them in the car and I said, listen boys, this is how this works. You see the houses with the really long grass, the gutters are falling off. Those are the houses I'm looking for. Every house you spot, if I sell it, I'm going to give you 1,000 rand. Have you seen 2 boys help you canvas? They fight. I saw it first. And we made a whole long list of 30 properties. And we were just driving, chatting, looking for properties. So involve your family. Let them know what your dreams are. And boys, if we don't sell a house, no holiday this year, okay? Because they get frustrated. Mommy, why are you home late? Why are you working again? You're always on the phone. You're always on the phone, Mommy. I'm like, do you want to go on holiday? That's what this is. This call is going to be 50,000 rand. It's going to pay your school for the year. It's going to pay your holiday. It's going to pay your cricket or whatever the case may be. So I make them aware and maybe I also feel like that because I grew up in a property house. And my mom made me part of her goals and what she's doing. And I used to hand out pamphlets and hitting boards and things like that. And then you realize how hard your mom works, where this comes from, and your family buys in. And then they're a little bit more understanding when you're calling and come home late, and they keep you accountable to your goals. You know those showers that you didn't do this month, Mommy, that's why. Please notice it. They know. So schedule it into your calendar, and then know your market and develop a good strategy to connect with it, so that you are prospecting based, marketing enhanced. So prospecting based, prospecting is calling, it's actively looking for the business. You always prospecting based, marketing enhanced. Don't go sit on Facebook the whole day and post on WhatsApp and tell yourself you're lead generating. Those things build your awareness. Your physical business, the most purposeful way it's going to come to you is by the lead generation. So always actively look for business, and then do the little extra things that will make your business come to you, back to you again. And then have a system. So with your relationships, what your CRM looks like, I believe you guys also use Propcon. Just have a system of how you do things. I think I've told you this before. I say to my people, S for seller, B for buyer, T for tenant, because it's amazing how these people keep crossing your paths. You'll see, your tenants today are your buyers and your sellers tomorrow. And you don't think so, but you save all those numbers. I used to have a rental agency. Some of those people still come back into my radar. I meet them, or they phone me, I put them on loudspeaker, I see the name, and I say, I remember you used to rent from me in Lee Park. And they're like, Marykie, were you my rental agent then? How do you remember that? I don't have that kind of memory. I just have a system. So have a system and let it work for you. It's easy today with our telephones. Just be diligent about saving everything. And I see this with myself, and I operate in organized chaos. I always say it's organized chaos because people think I'm very structured and organized, but I'm actually very chaotic, and my brain is also very chaotic. That's why I need the structure. And it's just habits. So if I speak to you, like I know now, we booked this meeting next week Tuesday with the bond originator. Next week Tuesday at 12. I was driving while the appointment came in. And I know if I don't book the thing into my calendar immediately, I'm gonna forget. So get into that habit of saying, once you've spoken to these 26 people today, everyone you spoke to, that you know the number exists and that you told your name to, you need to save them on your phone. Seller, this address, seller, this address, seller, this address. And you build up those contacts, because in 3 months' time it's easy. Now you go through all the sellers of your phone and you WhatsApp them. In 3 or 6 months it's easy, you go through all the sellers, and that's how you just consistently build it. What is your life going to look like if you add 10 people to your database every single work day this year? How much are you going to build your database? Do you want to cold call forever? No, I don't want to cold call forever. Cold calling has got a very low hit rate. We're not in the cold calling business, we're in the relationship building business. And the better you are structured with the cold call and making the cold call into a relationship, the better your business, the easier your business, the less effort you have to do with the cold calling. I don't want to look up numbers anymore. Like all these houses that I looked for in December, I never found the people. And Henny's looking for a house to flip. He's like, Marykie, you need to find the people. I said to him, Henny, I'm going to be honest with you. My weak spot is the admin of sitting down and looking up the numbers. I have all the best intentions. When I get home tonight, I don't sit and do it. And then tomorrow, I don't have the numbers to phone. So then I found other numbers because I have enough numbers to phone. So he's like, okay, let my assistant just look up the numbers. So identify your weak spots and your positive spots and be honest with yourself about it. And then as soon as he gave me all the numbers, I phoned him and we already have a house and we made an offer. So, you know, but I was stalling myself by not committing to looking up the numbers. So yeah, the honesty with ourselves is also sometimes the hard part, right? So have a system, save everyone's number you speak to, and then have an electronic business card. That can just be even a business card you type out with. Mine says, hi, I'm Marykie from Big Pond Property. Here's my Facebook link if you want to find out more about me. Please save my details if you want to buy, sell, or rent in future. Call me. Short, whatever. But have like a standard little WhatsApp that you can copy and paste into when you speak to people for your lead gen, and WhatsApp everyone. Because then that you've turned the cold call into a relationship. And your listings comes from the follow-up, not from the cold call. Cold call's got a low hit rate, so the relationship is where you're going to be consistent. And that's a call, that's a WhatsApp. I go friend my people on Facebook. Because what have I done now? I know when their birthday is. I've got their name and their surname, it's there. So now I know when the birthday is. I have at least 10 to 15 birthdays that come up every day on Facebook. And I've made it my mission for this year, because I love birthdays and putting them in my calendar, but I haven't been good the last year. So one of my goals for this year was the birthdays. So every morning I get up, I make coffee, I open my Facebook, and I do the birthdays. It's my first step in my lead generation. And I don't even count it, but come to think of it, that's like 10 touches I've done even before I started lead generating. If it's someone I know or a client, I'll even send a WhatsApp as well, because I think then it's more personal, and then they see, by the way, are you still enjoying your house there where you're staying, or how was your holiday? Such a nice reason to check in with people. So use the birthday. Do not miss out on the birthday opportunity with people. And everyone is in a good mood on their birthday. Okay. Then, listing appointments are everywhere. They are everywhere. You must just see them. If you have a name badge, wear it. People will talk to you and see you in real estate. So a name badge or the printed shirt is always lovely. We've also done the printed stuff now, and it works so well. People absolutely love it. It looks professional. So use it to your advantage to start up a conversation. So your secret is in the follow-up. So you must diarize, follow up. I don't care what that looks like. If you do it on Prop One or in your diary, just make sure it's in there, and you follow up. And then the other things that you must remember is every buyer very likely needs to sell. I've gotten a lot of business of buyers that come onto my door. They end up buying with other agents, but they get bad service. Then they'll end up selling with me. So if your business is slowing down, or you're having a bad lead generation day, my advice is always go through your last 3 to 6 months buyers. Buyers stay in the market for 3 months, 6 months, a year. And a lot of those buyers have things to sell. And a lot of the time it's like, if you buy a red car and you're driving out the garage, then you're like, oh, look at all these red cars on the road. I never realized there's 80% of people buy red cars. But it's because you're buying a car that you have an awareness. A buyer that is in the market is standing at a braai having conversations with his friends about buying and selling. He's got an awareness of whose mind is in property at the moment. So if your business is slow and you don't have listings, phone through I'd even say 6 months. I usually do 6 months. Number one, those buyers are so impressed because no other agent follows them up and says, "Hi sir, did you ever buy a house?" They're like, "Really? Are you phoning me to hear if someone actually helped me and I found a house?" A lot of them haven't found a house. Ask them, do you have something you need to sell that I can help you with? There you've got listing appointments. I can promise you now, if you phone through your last 6 months worth of buyers, you're going to get listing appointments from them. So if you're getting discouraged with cold calling, think of what your other avenues are and how you can use them cleverly. So phone through all your old buyers. A buyer have given good service to that buyers from another agent. I have that again now. My seller, she bought with someone else, sold with me. She was going to list with both of us, but I impressed her, so she listed just with me. Her property is registered now in December. I'm getting the keys this afternoon. She says, "Marykie, the agent where I bought, the day I signed the OTP, I never heard from her again. Big company, agent's been in the industry for long. She's got issues on that side, roof is leaking, blah, 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 blah." Who do you think she's going to refer if she hears about anyone in property? Me or that agency? Because I've just done that little bit extra of saying, "Merry Christmas, Karin. How's the move going? Do you need anything?" I'm busy working on another listing. The lady's moving in Cape Town. I'm telling you these stories because I want you to see how I think. She's moving to Cape Town, single lady with her 2 kids. I said, "Have you got boxes yet?" Guys, come on, we're in property. We know where to get boxes. "Have you got boxes yet?" Because these are all the things you need to think about when you move, especially if you move far. She says, "No, I don't." I say, by the way, guys, if you didn't know, go to Discam. Discam has got really good quality boxes because they transport medicines. So they do double-walled boxes. Simple, tiny little bit of useless information that I'm taking and sharing with the client that makes them feel, hey, she cares. She knows moving is a mission. She knows single wall boxes cannot carry a lot of books. She knows I'm moving far. And she's telling me, I don't have to tell you. You can go buy all the boxes, you can go figure it out. People figure it out every day. I said, go to Discount. Now I've got this other place registering that she phoned me, this lovely lady with the connected sale, and she said, I'm done moving, can I leave the boxes at the house maybe for the people moving in? If they haven't packed, they've got boxes. Immediately I found this listing I'm working on, because who am I competing with? Another agent and a best friend, okay? So this is a hard one to get an exclusive on. I need to outperform this best friend. So immediately I phoned her, I said, Andrisa, you know what, I just organized boxes for you, do you still want boxes? House is not even in the market yet. What do you think the chances are she's going to list with me? I've 100% secured my listing because we're not even listed yet, nothing. I went to have coffee with her, I sent her a price recommendation, interpreted, here, you're a mom, I relate, you're moving far, this is stressful. What can I do to make this easier for you? Even if she ends up not listing with me, she'll probably end up referring me. Even if I'm not the one that sells the house out of the 3 agents listing, I want to be the one that gets the referral business. So never see anything in isolation. It's a long game. That business comes from good service. So keep building those relationships from all different angles. Referrals from a neighbor, but we have to ask. I had to make a point of becoming blatantly straightforward with this. I go, remember I'm in property. Remember I'm in property. Where do you live? Remember I'm in property. Hey, you must know if anyone wants to sell, you must tell me. Why is your house in the market and I don't know? What I ask my friends, what did I do wrong? Why am I not the one you're phoning? And they must tell me, because I need to know where I must adjust so that I get the referral. We need to get the listings in. Do whatever you need to do to get them in. At the church, at the party, at the neighbor when you're having coffee. Because we think people know us and they know we're in real estate, so they're just going to phone us when the listings come up. But they don't. You need to constantly ask and remind them, I do not have anything at the end of the month coming into my bank account. I phone my friends when I lead generate. How are you doing? Good and you? I'm not well, you know, I don't have a salary at the end of the month and I've got nothing to sell. Really, Marykie? I said, yes, that's why I'm phoning you, because I need referrals. If I don't get referrals from my friends and the people I know, I don't have money to pay my house at the end of the month. So I'm reaching out to my entire network and finding out who can help me today. What can I do for you? What do you need? I'm happy to return the favor. I'll make sure I know what business people are in. If you're an electrician, I'll send clients to you. I'm going to test your service, and then I'm going to go, who do you have that you can refer to me? I've sent you business. You need to send me business. We help each other. So think about that, and don't be shy to ask. Support your local coffee shop, guys. I've sold a lot of houses from my local coffee shop because my calculations is that if I can sell one house in a whole year from my local coffee shop, it pays for all my coffee, and I really like coffee. So the baristas, I know them, I know their names, and people know. If anyone, I tell them, if anyone comes in here and they say property, you tell them phone Marykie. And if I get one listing or one sale from that in a year, it's absolutely worth my time that I'm spending in that coffee shop. School events, my kids go to a really good school, but all the teachers, all the parents, all the kids, I told my kids, they must tell their friends, if they are selling, or they know people that are selling and they come tell them, I'll pay them 1,000 rand. I mean, come on, I will happily pay 1,000 rand for a 2 million rand or a 1 million rand listing. And can you think when the kids start catching on to this and one of them make 1,000 rand, they're going to be like, you know what Marykie's mom does? They're going to drive around and say, Mom, you need to find Marykie's mom, someone is selling that house. So there's fun ways you can get everyone involved. Load everyone on your database and then ask for referrals, especially post-transaction. We forget about that. We sign the OTP or the people move in and then we go on with our lives. But that is statistically when people are most likely to refer someone to you because they are in the market, they're aware of who is in the market and actively looking. So when people move in, you phone them a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year after they've moved in. You make a note on your PropCon of when the house registered. That is the second best call to make after a birthday because people are so impressed. You phone them and you say, oh, you've lived in your house for a year, congratulations, it's your house anniversary. So immediately think about adding all the sales, all the people you speak to consistently in your database this year. What do you think your life is going to look like next year? You're not going to buy 1 chicken farm, you're going to buy 5 chicken farms. But it's going to take consistency, 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 consistency. Get up, do your best. Get up, do your best. The rest is not up to you, but you need to get up and do your best. And then remember, without listings, there is no next step. I used to have this above my door, principally. Without listings, there is no next step. What is the one thing I can do every day that's going to make everything else easier and unnecessary? Just list another house. List another house, list another house. Have you got debt? List another house. Are you sick? List another house. Do you want to go on holiday? List another house. What is the problem that I can't solve with that is not list another house? You know, I've considered a lot of different avenues, industries, things come onto your path. You get restless. You're like, maybe I must do this. Maybe I must do that. Maybe I must do this. And I said to my mentor last week, you know what the problem is when you're in property? The answer to everything is just sell another house. Every problem you has, answer becomes sell another house. And when you get better in this industry, it becomes a problem. Because there's nothing else you can do where it ends up being as easy as selling another house. Imagine you're working 9 to 5 with a salary, doesn't matter how hard you work, how many hours you put in, there's no bigger earning potential, there's no bonus, there's no this. Cool, someone pays for your holidays and you can go to the doctor and someone pays you that day. I stay at home, no one pays me. But if I work harder and harder and smarter, I get more and more and more and more. Okay, so just going to see how much time we have left. I just want to go over the appointment part of it as well, so that we brief over that. So be prepared. Guys, I'm being very honest with you today. It's quite embarrassing. I'm the agent without a pen. I don't know how it happens. I do everything on my iPad that I can, like my mandates, but offer to purchases you have to sign in wet ink. And I said this year I'm updating my car office with 20 pens in there because every time I need to sign an offer, I don't have a pen with me, and it's the most embarrassing thing ever. So part of my preparation and bringing organized to my chaos is making sure I always have a pen with me. Always have a pen, always have an offer to purchase because you don't know when it's going to happen. So prepare for your appointment. We're going to check in with your first impression, our motivations for selling and building rapport, and then our listing presentation and the paper trail. So I remember when I started cold calling, we used to phone, we had these massive sheets of paper with the holes in the side, I don't know if you remember them, and they were perforated, they folded over like this. We used to sit with a ruler and phone. This was when I was still at school. I was lead generating for my mom. And you phone and you phone and you phone, but then you get a yes. You get so used to no, you get a yes that you almost fall off your chair. Now you have to book in the appointment, you're like, what now? So be ready for the yes as well, okay? Be prepared when you get the yes. So make and confirm the appointment, which sounds simple and easy, but this is your first step to be professional. Book it in, send a calendar invite, send a confirmation on the day. Be professional from that first step. I spoke to you, immediately I sent you my business card. The day of the appointment, I wasn't early, I wasn't late, I was dressed properly, I came with a listing presentation. I'm new in the industry. Here comes Marykie. She brings nothing. She's not prepared. So you think, oh, who am I competing against? I don't stand a chance. People do not put in the effort they're supposed to put in. And a lot of the days, I am also that person. Then you are going to be lucky if you are the other agent on the listing presentation, because you're probably going to get the listing. Because you did those few little extra things that made you professional, that made you set apart. And I'm always shocked that our agents don't do this. They pitch up and they're like, oh, my client wasn't there today. And I'm like, did you send him a message with your details? You don't even know the guy saved your details. Did you send him a confirmation on the day? From the first touch, you have the opportunity to stand out and be professional. So make sure you're meeting the decision makers of the property, the registered owners, and ask them what the home offers so you can prepare for the appointment. I like to know beforehand that it's like a 3-bed, 2-bath, double garage. I take my laptop with. I have some similar listings that I think are similar to their house. I have it open already so that I can talk them through the statistics and say, Mr. Seller, how do you think your house that you think you can get 3 million for compares to this 2 million rand that's got 4 bedrooms and a pool? Because this is the way you get your seller to make the right decision. My job is not to tell people what they need to market their properties at. It's not my job. I'm not supposed to tell you what you need to market your property at and what the price should be. My job is to interpret the market. I must give you enough information to enable you to make the right decision. And if you do that in the correct way, your sellers and their own sanity gets them to the correct price. We sit here and we're frustrated because of all these overpriced listings. If my listing is overpriced, I'm not going to bully my seller into a lower price. I'm going to give him the information that will make him realize himself why his price is too high. Mr. Seller, this just sold for 500 less. Mr. Seller, look at this listing. Mr. Seller, look at these statistics. And I tell my sellers that. I don't make the market. I interpret the market. This is 100% your decision. I'm going to give you all the information. You need to make an informed decision. This is my job. I do this every day. It's my job to know what's going on in the market, what these statistics look like, what you need to look at. And I'm going to do it so well that it's going to be irresistible to place it in the market for 500 rand over the price, because you are going to feel ridiculous because of all the information I've given you when you make that decision. So make sure you meet the decision makers and ask what the house offers, that you do your research beforehand. So draw your Lightstone report, read through it, know what's sold. I even sometimes phone if I see something that shoots out on a property report that's sold for much higher, or especially much higher. I phone the new owner. Let's say they moved in 3 months ago. I phone them. Now what have I done? I've done a cold call, so I count it as a cold call. And I say I'm going to introduce myself. I work in the area. I'm helping some sellers in the block next to your block. And I see you bought your property for 2.5 million. That's an exceptionally high price for this area, Mr. Seller. Do you mind telling me a little bit what makes your house special? And the seller's going to be proud. He recently bought in Marykie. I've got a most beautiful pool and I've got a flatlet, which I understand is not the norm in the suburb. So now, when you go to your listing presentation and your seller says, but Marykie, this guy got 2.5 and the neighbor told me he sold for 2.5. I also want 2.5. Then I can tell him, I spoke to the seller. Immediately I'm impressing him. I did my homework. I know my market. I spoke to the seller before we came. And he told me he's got a flatlet and a swimming pool and a whatever else. So it makes sense that he fetched such a higher market price. Why, and this is an important question, why do you think, or what about your property do you think makes it in line with this price? Because now he still wants to go to market at 2.5. Then you make your seller say it. Mr. Seller, which features do you think your property has that aligns it with the 2.5 million range? My tiles in my living room. No, but the other property also has that. What do you think are those extras that's going to align us with that market? You see how you must guide your sellers in coming to these realizations themselves. Because you're walking in and they're going, here's another agent that just wants to make commission, take my money, get a low price so they have a quick sell. You need to convince him you're not that agent that he knows. You know, that's got the bad rep in the market, that doesn't do his job and that's lazy, that people think we are. Convince him why you are not that person, the homework that you have done to get him to where he needs to be. And who are we doing a favor if we don't do that, guys? Because you're going to spend 3 months on that listing, you're going to come to the market, you're going to cry, you're going to say the properties are not selling. Because you're not advising your sellers correctly on what is going on in the market to enable them to make the right decisions. So do your research, look for similar properties, know the market, how many days it's on the market, which are your busy months, and prepare your personalized plan. So have that, what am I doing for you? This guy's probably seeing more than one agent, so you must tell him, this is my plan. I put my properties in the market. I tell my sellers, I don't have anything in the market for more than 6 weeks. When my properties have been in the market for, I suppose it's a little bit more, 8 to 12 weeks at the moment, then I urge them to take it out of the market. I'm like, we put it in, I'm going to market it for a week. If I have no inquiries, 5 to 10 days, we need to adjust your price. Like, I set that expectation at listing so that they know when I phone them to price counsel. Because if you put something in the market and it lies there for 2 weeks with no inquiries, the price is too high. And we have to go to market at that price because our sellers are stubborn and they believe that their little house is a palace. So now you know this is going to sell for $1 million. They want to list at 1.5. You want the mandate. You have a motivated seller. You take the mandate. You say 2 weeks at your price, then we adjust to my price. If I put this in the market and I have no inquiries, it means we are at least 5% overpriced. If I put it in the market and we get people through your property and I bring 20 people, sorry, back to this point. No one comes through your house. You're going to sound a bad agent. I'm not doing your job. I'm telling you today, Mr. Seller, if that happens, our busiest time in the market is the first 2 to 6 weeks. If I do not bring you people in the first 2 to 6 weeks, it is not my service, it is your price. That is how the market works. Prep them for that because people like to say, oh, my agent's doing nothing. No one is being here. What does that mean? It's code for your price is wrong. So Mr. Seller, no inquiries, it means our price is at least 5% over market value. If I put it in the market and I get feet through your house, but I don't get offers and I've had 20 people through here, it means we are still at least 5% overpriced. Yeah, but I'll take an offer. I'll take an offer. Bring an offer. I cannot bring you an offer if I cannot get feet through your house. You need to enable me to get you an offer, and the only way I can get you an offer is if I get people to see your property. The only way we're going to get people to see your property is if the price has come down. Mr. Seller, there are 20 properties in the market for 1.5 in Garsfontein. Some even have an extra bedroom. If you were a buyer, would you buy your property for this price? People are comparing it to this, and this. So can you see why they're not coming to have a look at your property? I need to get you aligned with the stock in the market so that I can get feet. Once I have feet, then I can try and get you an offer. So you price counsel from day one, because the day you get an offer is going to be much lower than what they expected, and then you go back to the day you met them and you say, Mr. Seller, you remember I told you. It's worth $1 million. I'm going to market at 1.5. Expect offers from 1.1. We've got a one offer for 1.2. This is a great offer. This is exactly what I told you where the market is. It's not in line with your expectation, but it is in line with what the market is willing to pay. My job is to interpret the market so that you can make an informed decision. Prepare a personalized plan. Sorry, I talked so much I don't see what I have in my slide. So your first impressions, I touched on this. Be early, don't be on time. People are still feeding the babies, getting the dogs out. I think it's very rude in our industry to be early. If you are early, people are not ready. You flabbergast them before you even walk in because they feel out of balance. So if you are early, let them know and ask them if you can come in earlier. Introduce yourself. I like to walk through the property. Again, relationship building business. If your client says, Marykie, do you want some coffee? You sit and you have coffee. If I have someone that I can hear is not necessarily ready to list, or you just hear over the phone, if I'm thinking of selling next year, I might move to Cape Town in June, then I tell them, I tell you what, I'm going to bring the cookies and you make me a nice cup of coffee and we just chat. No pressure to put your house in the market. It's always good to know what's going on. Let me come chat to you about what's going on in the market. Once you sit down and you have cookies or coffee or whatever with someone, then you have a chance to build a relationship. People do business with people they trust. As soon as that seller trusts you, he's going to hear your market interpretation. He's going to hear your statistics. He's going to believe that you are going to do what you do. He's going to believe that you are different from the other people that doesn't phone you back and from the bad experiences. So focus on your relationship building and that rapport that you're building with your client. So walk through the property, ask them lots of questions, show interest, and then I always like to compliment people about something positive in the house, and relate and say what I think what makes this an exceptional property, different from the others, why I'm excited to sell it, the garden looks beautiful after the rain, whatever it is. Make a point of honestly and sincerely pointing out something. You know, it's nice when someone walks through your house and they say, yes, I love your taste in art, or whatever the case may be. So find what that is. You're not just here to do a job, you're guiding someone through a very emotional process. And then find their motivation, sit down, find out why people are selling. It also doesn't help with working hard, listing 20 properties a month with people that are just testing the market, because then we are just exhausting ourselves. Number one, we are tour guides, and we are going to be frustrated because we're not going to satisfy our sellers, we're not going to satisfy our buyers and or ourselves and our debt and our goals and our everything that we want to achieve. So find the people that are motivated and feel that out. You know, someone is not in a hurry now, but the person they live with is sick. If anything changes, the motivation is going to change. So go with every situation, and I always say, feel your way through it. No, people are inviting you into the house. Know what that story is. Know what it looks like. Know what it is that you are facilitating here for them. We've got a massive responsibility. We don't just sell houses. We such a way that your buyers and your sellers know that. Because you'll get so much more business, because people will learn they can trust you, you know what you're doing, you know what's going on, and you are consistent. Yeah, and it can be special if you have to juggle a divorce sale or whatever, then you need to have a little bit of insight for what that looks like and who you need to speak to. So find out, listen to what people are saying, listen to what they're not saying, so that you know where your motivation lies. And then you also know more when to price counsel. So these are just a few questions that I really like to ask my sellers when I list. And number one is, where are you moving to and how soon would you like to be there? That gives you, you can't ask your seller, Mr. Seller, give me from 1 to 10 how motivated are you to sell your house? It's a bit easy. So the way you do it is by saying, where are you moving to? If your house doesn't sell, what does that look like for you? Listen, we're already in arrears, or we can't afford this anymore. We need to be in Cape Town in 3 months. So you think you don't know, no one wants you to think they're desperate. But if you start reading between the lines and asking the right questions, you realize where the motivation and the desperation lies. So what happens if you don't sell? And then if I bring you, I always ask this, if I bring you a good offer tomorrow, are you willing to sign? Because we put our houses in the market, but when they sell, when the seller sells and they have to sign, and they like get cold feet and they get a massive pride, and then everything becomes real, the move, the pack, the boxes, the mom. So ask them so that you mentally start preparing them for the offer as well, and you know they're motivated. And I always ask them what concerns they have. I always put this in my valuation, my market analysis email as well. This is one of the biggest financial decisions you make in your life, Mr. Seller. I want to know, what are your concerns? Please think about it. I'm going to call you in the week to follow up, to hear what you think of my pricing and my marketing strategy, and to discuss the concerns, because this impacts you and your whole family. I care about what I do. I want repeat business from it. I want good service. And the more I know what their concerns are, the better I can address them. And usually it's easy, because usually it is the dates of the move and those kinds of things that people are worried about, and I can help you with that. Put yourself in their shoes, and I've chatted about the expectation as well. So then your listing presentation, guys, be prepared. Have a little mobile office or something that you always have with you, and always have a pen. Practice your listing presentation. Have you all done a listing presentation? Who hasn't done a listing presentation? So you need to team up with the people that have done listing presentations. One of the most successful interns that I have mentored, he's a coach today. I don't even think he's 38. When he started working with us back in the day, he walked in and he went to go sit in a different agent's show house every single Sunday. And he kept me company that whole Sunday and helped me put my boards in. I said, why are you showing? He's like, this is a free mentoring session, Marykie. So he went to everyone, show houses, and he learned, and he said, I like this, I like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. And how clever is that? So every opportunity you have to learn from your peers or practice with your peers, use it. Go with the buyer's appointment, seller's appointment, listing appointment. See how they do other things. Ask questions. What was hard when you started? What else do you think I can do? Put your listing presentation together, bring it to Michael and say, Michael, you're my seller, what do you think? What do I need? What must I put in? What must I take out? So that you learn to be confident in that, because all it takes is hours. You're going to do that listing presentation, it's going to be stressful, stressful, stressful. You're going to get your first listing, you're going to get your second listing, and then you're going to be like, man, I can do this without these papers in my head. I know the story. You get to know the story like this. So just practice, practice, and put the hours in. So review your presentation, and then the reason why they should hire you. Have a very clear understanding with your sellers of why they should hire you. When I inspected my business and I looked at my numbers from 2021 until end of 2024, and I realized in my years that I hit targets in line with what I want to do this year. I had an assistant and I had 2 agents working with me. That's like kind of my sweet spot, because I like to put a little team together. And in those years, 50% of my business at least came from referrals. And it was because I consistently had an admin person that helped me to follow up. I can do it by myself, and I do it well by myself. I was just very purposeful about what that looked like in those 2 years. And I could see that from my numbers. But then I also take the insight into my business, and I tell my sellers that, Mr. Seller, why must I give you an exclusive mandate? Mr. Seller, 50% of my business comes from referrals. And I know when I sell your house, the chances of 50% that one of my next sales are going to come from you, because you're going to be so impressed with my business, you're going to want to send all your friends to me. So the level of responsibility that I put onto myself with each property I put in the market is so high that that is where I get my business from. So you can easily give me an exclusive mandate, because I'm very accountable to what you want to achieve and what my business and my standard looks like. Know your law, your how is the market. Look at those statistics. That is really what is going to very easily set you apart in the market, because the agents do not know what is going on in the market. And you know how to have that conversation as well. Just look at some basics of how many properties are there, sell, what the prices look like, so that you can talk to your seller through that. And then you can hear that you know what's going on. Here I've got a list of what to include in your listing presentation. I don't think we need to go through detail in everything, but a little something about your company website, your fidelity fund certificate, copy of the code of conduct, print it, put it in there. Just buy a little flip file and put these things in there, have it with you. When you go to a listing presentation, it's your guide. You take it with, you page through it with your seller, you say, Mr. Seller, this is my listing presentation. This is how this works. So it becomes your little index of everything you need to discuss with them. Some client testimonials. How do you get client testimonials? You ask. You ask. Like ask. I had a problem with I broke my pencil, my electronic pencil for my MacBook in the week. I ran to this guy to go fix it, because you know how it goes. I'm signing an offer, I break the tip of this thing, my printer doesn't want to work, I've got an OTP and I can't get it filled in. So I run into this guy, he only works on Mac stuff, and I said, please just help me. He said, Marykie, how did you manage to do this? I said, you know, these things you're supposed to eat with, that we use as tools. I used that, I was in a hurry and I broke this thing. And he had such a nice laugh, he quickly fixed it for me. He says, I'm not going to charge you anything. I said, okay, cool, can I take some photos? He's in a house in Washington. Took photos of his reception. Immediately I went, because I said, what can I do to say thanks? He said, leave a Google review. When I got home, I wrote a beautiful Google review. I posted him on my WhatsApp, I posted him on my social media. And do you know how many touches I got because of that? Yes. My whole network of people that have Apple products messaged me and said, who's this guy? Do they also buy Apple MacBooks? Where did you fix it? And now I know everyone that saw that, when they have a problem with their computer, who do you think they're going to call? Me. And what do you think I'm going to ask them? Do you want to sell your house? You see why I say this is a mindset. It's a mindset. Help, say thanks, give the reviews. Be that person that is your client. Give all those people reviews. Guys, local businesses, small businesses, tapping into that, tagging them on social media, and then going and actively saying, This one business in Pretoria is booming now because of someone's Facebook review, the Egyptian place. He says he can't believe how many clients he's got because someone went onto Facebook and said, excellent service, family-owned restaurant, something different. And it's a small little place, it's not even a full-on restaurant. But that is how you say thank you and ask people to do that for you. If a seller or a buyer is happy, even if they didn't end up concluding the business through you, tell them, Mr. Seller, I'm new in the industry, you are like my 5th client. How did you experience my service? Would you mind like WhatsApping that to me? Let them WhatsApp it to you. Put it on your PropCon. Put it on your WhatsApp status update. Do not be afraid to brag in this industry. People want to do business with people they trust and that they know are successful. When my business is quiet, guys, I start on PropCon sharing the links of other agents. That, you know, people say you can work on their listings and you convert it into a listing under your own name. I take that PropCon link and I start sharing it. When I see my friends or my mentors or whatever in the industry, yes, Marykie, you're so busy. If I see you're listing your property, and I'm like, oh, I'm very busy. Meanwhile, I'm starting over. I just make myself look busy and successful because people want to do business with people that are busy and successful. So fake it until you make it. Ask for the reviews. You need one to get another one. Okay, and keep all of them. I wish I kept all of them when I started in the industry because I have like a book of referrals now. But keep them. If you don't have them, generate them. If you're not busy, look busy until you are busy. Waffle intelligently. Okay. Are you excited for this year yet? Yes. Okay, testimonials. I've got a list of exclusive mandate benefits. We're running out of time, but it is in the presentation. I'm going to leave it with Michael for you. I've got a whole checklist for you that's from JJR's website. Put it in your listing presentation. Makes it easier. It tells you electrical compliance certificate. These costs, you can tick it off. And it's going to show your seller you know what you're talking about. There's nothing that impresses my sellers as much as if I tell them, Mr. Seller, have you notified your bank that the property is in the market? Did you know if you notify your bank, then you save on penalty interest? I want you to save money. It costs money to sell your house. Do this because it's going to save you money. Then he sees another agent and another one and another one, and you know what? None of them tell him that because they don't care. They did not set goals. They are not purposeful. They just think sell, sell, sell. I don't think sell, sell, sell. I think value, value, value. The more value I add, the more diligent I am, the more I give people, the more I'm going to get back. So have that kind of attitude. There's the conveyancing process, the bond cancellation letter, hidden costs. That is also, a lot of this is also on JJR's sheet. Put your property report in there and put your suburb report in there so that you can talk to your seller about the property that we're listing and that you can talk to him a little bit about the suburb and what the statistics in the suburb looks like. And then any other important documentation, and then you take that with you so that you are ready for a listing presentation and you can easily talk your way through it. So what to include in the marketing plan, and then you just see what to include. So price your home strategically to be competitive. What we're going to do for you, we're going to put up a for sale sign, we're going to do professional photos. Communicate in detail exactly what your office is going to do. You guys do a lot more than other companies in town. You are a lovely little office and a team, and sell that. Tell them, Mr. Seller, you know what? We have got 2 amazing people in our office that run it. We have got an incredible administrative team. You will not go wrong with listing by us. I know people in this industry complain about rentals, but we do X, Y, and Z. You are worried about this. This is how we are going to help you with it. I'm not the person that you're going to see today and never hear from again. Here's my business card. Save my number on your phone now. You can phone me anytime. If you don't get hold of me, you WhatsApp me. And I can tell you, the moment you cannot get hold of me or anyone in my office to help you, it's fine. You don't have to do business with me. That is how confident I am in the quality of business I give you. Sell yourself in your listing presentation so that people know that you go above and beyond and what sets you apart, because every agent takes photos and make it sound amazing. Why is it more amazing to do it with you? Okay. Do you guys know what's going on each other's tables? Do you know who works where, who's got how many listings? Okay? Magic happens like that. You must network with your peers, because today I've got a plot that I'm selling now. I don't list plots. It's a friend of a friend, a very dear family friend. She lost her husband, and my friend reached out to me and he said, please help her. This lady's been living on a plot alone for 3 years. And I said, I don't list plots. I don't list them. It's not my expertise. It's far out. I don't like them. I don't know anything about boreholes and windpomp and... But I'll go look. I'll go have coffee. I'll give her advice. What happens? One of my other best friends from school ends up looking for exactly that. Talk to people. Talk to agents. Know where everyone is at. Because even, I call them pocket listings. You need to keep in the back of your mind what he's got on his books and he's got on his books. Because the buyer that walks onto your table tomorrow is going to be able to buy that property instead. And you want him to buy that property instead of another agency's property. But the only way you're going to do that is if you know what you're all busy with, so that you can match them together. Create your open house schedule with your seller. Provide weekly updates. So you put the house in the market, it's overpriced, nothing happens. You just hear little crickets. No inquiries. Next week same. Next week same. What do you think happens by week 3? Do you think your seller sits there and goes, my property is overpriced? Or do you think he's telling everyone that wants to listen, you know Michael from Green Pasture Homes, he was here once, he listed my property and I never heard from him again. He doesn't do his job. Not the property is overpriced, but what did Michael not do? Even if there's no feedback, once a week you check in with that seller and you say, Mr. Seller, no inquiries. Here's the screenshot. You know, you get that graph on private property. This is the movement on your listing. I sent it on WhatsApp, I put it on Facebook, I put it on Property 24. People are looking at it, they're not clicking to inquire. I want to let you know, nothing is happening. But do not say nothing. Once a week you need to touch base with every single seller, even if it's just a WhatsApp, but do not disappear and say it's an overpriced listing, someone else is going to sell it. Stay in contact, because when the price comes down and the time is right and it sells, he must still trust you that you are doing what you committed to. So give that feedback and tell him when you list, that is how you work. My sellers know. And a lot of the time, if it's a husband and a wife, I put them on a chat group so I can update both of them at the same time. They know I'm always busy and giving feedback, or they can get hold of me. But just don't disappear, please. And communicate where they advertise. I think this is one of the biggest mistakes we make as agents. So we don't realize how important it is to, once we've got the business, to baby the business and to stay in contact. We disappear and we think our sellers understand what overpricing and market conditions and things do to our businesses. They don't. We need to over-communicate all the time. Adding value, updating, adding value, updating. That is what's going to make your business flourish. Okay. Tell your seller exactly how it works. When you get a buyer, you're going to pre-qualify him, you're going to present all offers to him, and you're willing to work with other agents. Guys, in my area, the agents bully you off listings. It's horrendous. I have exclusive mandates, then they sell my sellers and tell my sellers, Marykie is willing to work together and do a 50-50 split. Then they take the buyer and they take half of my commission. And I'm like, I'm not willing to do a 50-50 split on an exclusive mandate next to the primary school that's only in the market for a week. So tell your sellers, I tell them, Mr. Seller, the other agents are going to phone you. They're going to tell you, this, I work together, that, I split commission, they can bring buyers. You talk to me. Only to me. I'm here to list, sell, manage everything for you. The reason you are hiring me and putting me in charge of the process is that you don't need to deal with 20 other agents and the security risk and all the nonsense. So they know when I list, I know that's how I need to list. I'm like, if any agent phones you, you give them my number. You don't tell them they can bring people, you don't talk, they negotiate my commission, you do nothing, you tell them, phone me. So know what your competition looks like and what your competition does, so you can do that, address that in your listing presentation. I facilitate the agreement. I have a network of service providers. I can help you with the easy move truck if you want to go to Cape Town, or a kennel for your dog, or whatever the case may be that you see in the property they're going to need, so that they know what your commitment is. You must walk out of there and the seller must feel at ease that he has made the right decision to hire you. When you walk and you sold this property, that must be a walking testament of your service. Every house you sell, I think Marita, what did she say yesterday? Every one contact on your phone is something like 8 sales over a lifetime. So one person that has good service is going to turn around into so much more business. So baby that person, impress them, and actively ask them for more business. And that is how you stop cold calling. They must know you're going to make this process as smooth as possible. So, Mr. Silly, here's my reason you need to give me an exclusive mandate. You're going to get all my attention. I tell my sellers, let me be honest with you. You know what a sole mandate means to me. A sole mandate is a post-dated check, because I know I'm going to sell this house. I'm going to give it all my attention. What do you think I do with a property that's overpriced with 6 agents on it? I do not have the resources and the time to give all my attention to something I have a faster sale. We have no risk of double commission. And something that I realized, a good way to explain the double commission, because we think this never happens, is, Mr. Seller, you know what happened. We're all busy and online the whole time today. And this actually happened to me with another agent. I opened up my mandate. The buyer inquires with the other agent. The husband inquires with the one agent. And they take out this client. Then the wife doesn't know that the husband sold this property. Now the wife inquires with me. Okay? Now what happens? They go and they come and have a look at the property for a second time through me. And the buyer, the husband doesn't say, I've seen the house through another agent. Now the house registers, Mr. Seller, and the other agent finds this out. You know what's going to happen? You're going to have to pay that person commission. So that is what you are opening. Have a real life example, because we think double commission is a myth. It's a reality. It happens without intent a lot of the time. It's not always intentionally that it happens, but with an open mandate, you open yourself up to that risk. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to pay 100,000 rands commission twice if I don't have to. So explain that to him. Tell him that your feedback is non-negotiable, and remember that it starts with passion. You need to love what you do. You need to eat, breathe, live real estate, guys. I'm not going to lie, this is not an easy. It's simple. It's simple, but it's not easy. Okay? It's simple. What you need to do is simple. What you need to do every day is simple. Is it easy? No, it's not. It's hard. You're going to cry hard. You're going to laugh hard. You're going to smile hard in this industry. It is extreme. It is a roller coaster. You need to learn to be consistent, because you need to stay consistent in your business, whether you're down here or you're up here, because you're going to sell full. You go like this. I don't know what I'm going to live off the next 3 months. Where's the money going to come from? Who have 200,000 rand? Who have nothing? Who are going to go on holiday? You need to manage that. And the only reason you manage that in your sanity is by keep it simple. Do what you need to do every day. Stay consistent. Jump over the hurdles. Ride the roller coaster. If you have a day and you're down and you feel like this industry is going to break you, phone me. I'll pep talk you. Even my real estate friends, Nicola from Chash, she's one of my good friends, phones me. Marykie, I've got someone who's going to hire me to manage this building. I'm going to get a salary of 30 a month. I think I should just take it. I have no listings. This is hard. I'm tired. I'm like, you know what? If you don't feel like you want to quit your job once a week, you're not working hard enough. Okay? It's part of what you go through. There's nothing wrong with you. This industry is going to make you feel like that. You push through it, you sit down, you call. Nothing else is going to solve your problems than calling and getting another listing. Okay? And I'm serious. I'm serious about phoning me. Like, my superpower is being positive. I love this industry. I love what I do. I love when this industry does not crack people, because this industry breaks a lot of people that think they can't do this just because you give up when things get hard. I will talk you through it. I will send you to the right person. Can look at your goals. But don't just give up. Go buy your chicken farm. Okay? Any questions, guys?
Why you are sharing this?
I'm giving you your goal setting. So at the top, let me just hand them out and we'll quickly revise them. One is for you.
Okay.
What do you do?
It's my job.
Okay. So, how many photos do you need to take to buy a chicken farm? This is applicable to anyone.
Yeah.
So you must also set goals.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to leave the rest with you. Give me this one and then you have some extra. Okay. So, 1, 3, 5. One goal, 3 priorities, 5 strategies. Okay? That's how it works. GPS, goal, priority, strategies. Okay? 1 goal, 3 priorities, 5 strategies. So you've got the example and the notes. You're welcome to share it. And then sit and do this. Stick it up. Let everyone laugh. Can I tell you what was my goal back in the day? Because I really struggled to think bigger. And everyone is like, if the goal's not big enough, and no one laughs at it, it's not big enough. So I said, okay, cool. I want to buy an island. Like a body of land surrounded by water. I even went to go find the island off the coast of North Africa. It had fresh water and a lot of mango trees and mangroves and stuff on it and nothing else. And no one has bought it yet. It had a dollar listed price, which was like, I couldn't even understand the number. But I think for 3 years, that island drove me. It drove my goals. It made us one of the biggest, most successful offices because I believed I want to buy an island. And it's what I wanted to do. My goals changed. I had kids, things started looking different, and I adjusted. But the point is, it made me work so hard because I was like, I'm going to set a ridiculously crazy goal or something that I think I can do. And then change my mind. You can change your mind. But have a big goal. Have something that drives you. Have your people and your loved ones and your family buy into it. Write it up, be proud, and do it. I was going to look for the name of that island. I just remembered about that. And then your 3 priorities. If you get stuck, phone me. If you need inspiration, Google GPS 135 goal setting. There's a lot of YouTube videos on it. When I say upskill yourself daily, that can literally mean watching videos on YouTube, 1 script a day. Look at other realtors, how they cold call. Hear what they say, how they speak. That's all part of upskilling yourself. You don't have to read 12 books that are this thick a year. Information is easy today. TikTok. Think how much information you're going to find just on TikTok. Cold calling. You have a look, scripts, cold calling, listening. Research property purposefully a little bit. Pick up some tips. Get some inspiration. Okay. Guys, any questions? Any questions?
Or generally?
Generally about this?
Alright, firstly, I just wanted to explain to us, how do you find common goals when you are negotiating with owners? There's some owners are very difficult to say that, no, I'm sticking to my price, and then I'm not backing down. I know you have explained, but how do you find a common ground to be able to achieve? And remember, negotiating, you must be able to find a common ground that is going to be a win-win, whereby the owner wins also, we as an agent also have something to take.
It's all of our biggest challenge, right? We get the listing, but 90% of the time it's overpriced. So for me, how I overcome it is the better I know my numbers, the easier it is. So maybe I can talk you through how I do it. So I go see my seller. I sit, I have coffee, I chat, I build rapport, I figure out. And I tell them, I told this lady whose friend she's also hiring, in the appointment, I said to her, I don't even bring anything worth to sign. You first need to decide if you're comfortable with hiring me as the right person to sell your property. I make them know, like, it's important to me, I must walk out of here and you must feel comfortable. And the way I make them comfortable is we sit, we talk about the dog, the cat, I ask them, where are you going? Tell me what is nice about this complex. They walk through, they show me the garden, the security, the neighbors, what they're proud of. I love plants, like find your way of connecting with people. Is it the artwork in their house? Is it, do you like furniture? Like, then comment on their furniture or find something that you can sincerely relate to. So for me, I cement the trust in the relationship, because once I have that, the rest becomes a little bit easier. But the most important thing even over that is, because it doesn't always work like that, people don't always have time for coffee, they send you in with the tenants, blah blah blah, is my statistics. I need to show people I've got market knowledge. So I literally sit once a month on Property 24, and even before I do a market analysis. So this one was in Waterkrant, it's a little townhouse. In the meeting, they ask you, what do you think it's going to sell for? Or I have a price in my mind, and I tell them, I don't want you to tell me. I don't want to know. Give me a chance, I'm going to look at the numbers. What I do is I look at what's sold, and I look what's currently in the market. Because we must communicate these things. Remember, I can't sell properties. I can't convince anyone they need a house. I just need to find the right buyer and seller that go together. People walk in, either a house speaks to them or it doesn't speak to them. It's not like selling a printer where I can convince you need an upgrade or a new phone. Or I can't do that with homes. So I'm not in sales, I'm in matchmaking. So I'm going to go to the drawing board and I'm going to put together information for you about the market. You can have a look at it, ask me questions, and I'm going to help you make an informed decision on the pricing. So, like, I, at all costs, try and not get them to tell me what they want for the property. If it's a second-hand listing already in the market, you just take it at that price or put something together. But usually then I'm just price counseling for someone else to sell the house. I hate that. So then I tell them, give me a chance, I'm going to interpret the market for you. Then I write them, I've got a template email, and I write them a very nice email, and I say, this is the comparative market value according to, what do you use? Lightstone?
Yeah, we use Lightstone.
This is the average sales price in the area. This is the comparative market value. These are the listings that are currently in the market. So when I see them in their house, I tell them it's very important, if we put your house in the market tomorrow, to know what that buyer is comparing it to. So in the email I'll tell them, there's 300 properties, there's 215 properties currently in the market in Garsfontein. Of that, 112 are townhouses. In total, there are 12 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, double garage townhouses over 1.5. In other words, what this means, Mr. Seller, is you are actively competing with 15 other similar properties. Okay? So now, let's say I know we must price at 1.3, 1.4. My seller wants 1.6. That is his expectation, or he told me, or whatever. Then I go and motivate exactly like, once you've read my motivation and you still put it at that price, you are going to feel stupid, because that is how. It takes me really long to do a market analysis because I'm very detailed. I say, this is what you're comparing to. There's 15 others in the market. In your complex, there are 3 other units. 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. And then I go look at the list date and I say, this is the listing in the market for 1.6. It's been in the market since January 2023 because they don't know they must look at that in the B24 listing. It's been in the market since January 2023. This one is in the market for 1.4, it's under offer. This one is in the market for under 1.3, it's under offer. So I put them there if they're under offer. A lot of the times I'll even phone the agent and ask them, what did you sell it for? I'm listing something similar, can I send you my buyer? So then I connect with the agent and I get the pricing information, what's in the market. And then I tell them exactly, list date, this is how it compares. Here's another one for 1.6, but it is 20 square meters bigger. Here's another one, so I use comparables so that they can see for 1.6, people on average get 20. I don't say like it's 20 square meters bigger. This one, has got a pool and 24-hour security. This one has got this. So I use comparison so that they can realize for 1.6 people get a lot more value and house in the area. Because people are not stupid, they all have common sense. They're going to lie in bed tonight and they're going to go, I want 1.6, but for 1.6, I'm competing with the people with swimming pools and 24-hour security. We don't even have a wall around our complex and it's only 3 bedrooms. So then I give them what's in the market, I give them what's recently sold, and then I give them property 24 statistics. So I'll tell them the average gap between the listing and the sales price in Garsfontein is 280,000. So a lot of these properties, most of the properties sell for 20% under advertising value. So now they're going, oh, so even though these are in the market for 1.6, they're probably going to sell, you know, for 1.4, 1.5. So I put as many, and a lot of people are analytical, and you'll find, especially if it's a husband and a wife, one of the two will be a little bit more analytical. And remember, people think all agents, we don't know what we're talking about. We just drink coffee. That's what we do. We drink coffee and we show a house here and there and then we pocket all these millions for doing nothing, eh? But if you stand out that little bit by doing that research and saying, Mr. Seller, this is the environment you are advertising in, this is what you're competing with, this is how many houses in the market. If you look at the recent sales, this is what recently sold. I tell them the most expensive home that's sold in the complex to date is 1.45. Most expensive home sold to date, because now I've drawn the complex statistics or the street statistics. Then he's going to ask himself, so if the most expensive home sold in the street to date is 1.35, why am I at 1.5? And maybe he's not going to realize that today because they're stubborn and we all want the best price. But it's going to start coming in as you take them through this process. Once we get to Mr. Seller, week 2, no inquiries. Mr. Seller, week 2, no inquiries. Mr. Seller, inquiry, I know it's in the market for 1.6, the buyer says he'll pay 1.3. The buyer says he sold the property around, the buyer that I had, you bought the property around the corner for 1.3. Stay in contact with your buyers, you see what information you get. So that is how you consistently stay in contact. Like, be tactful and clever about what information you give and how you give it so your sellers can interpret it. And I must just have the mindset if I must interpret the market. I'm not going to tell you what the price must be. I always go, I want to inform you so well that you can't help but feel stupid if you don't actually see what the reality is and drop the price. And then the day you get that 1.35 offer, and they say, but I told you I want 1.5. Then you say, but I have interpreted the market now for you. And I always also want to sell your house for 1.5. I also want 1.5. But what we want and what the market is willing to pay are two different things. I've informed you what the market is willing to pay. And this is what the market is willing to pay. The most expensive sale in the complex was 1.35. Everything else sold for 1. The highest one in the area was 1.4. Can you see why we are not getting 1.6? For 1.6, people can get the extra bedroom and the pool or the whatever the case may be. And that is why I'm a firm believer of focusing on an area. Because the more you focus on an area and a suburb, the more comfortable you become with what value you get in that area. What is the price per square meter? What is the price difference if there's a pool? What is the price difference if it has to be renovated or not renovated? And you can impossibly do that in a pool of houses that is this big. So you think you're listing, but in the long term you're working harder. If you zone in like this, the ideal farming area is only about 2,000 properties. Mine is 5,000 properties. There's a lot of business. A 10% market share is 3 sales a month. It's a lot of work for 3 sales a month. But you cannot ask me something in Garsfontein I will not be able to tell you or find out. And that is where you must get it. You interpret, in my opinion, you must interpret the market so well that the decision of the price becomes obvious to your seller. Because it's a pain. And leave him. Don't make him mad. List at 1.5. But prepare him for what that path looks like. Mr. Seller, we're going to do 1.5. 2 weeks later, if we don't get feet, if we get feet, if we don't get offers, I tell them, I adjust after 5 to 10 days. If there are no feet and no inquiries, we have to adjust fast. The longer we take to adjust, the lesser our chances become to get your price. We adjust. If we adjust and still nothing, then we adjust again on X amount of days. So that when you call him after 2 weeks and you say, Mr. Seller, you must be expecting this call. It's where I tell you, we are priced too high, there is no movement. Remember when I listed, I told you. So it's not a, you can't list a property for 1.5, say, yeah, exclusive mandate, I'm going to sell it 4 weeks later, say, Mr. Seller, this is too high, we have to drop to 1.2. Are you crazy? Why is he going to believe you? You need to like reinforce the whole time what the plan looks like, what the strategy looks like, and have the statistics to support it. And if you want help like interpreting the stats, or you're struggling to price counsel, phone me, bounce ideas off me. I'm more than happy to like help or give advice, or we always get new challenges in this industry. And my colleagues and my mentors, like we still bounce ideas off of each other. We still get scenarios of things that have never happened. You'll never get bored in this industry. You keep learning. Does that help?
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks guys. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate your time.
Any
And
questions?
this does colleague in the shared office this morning. It really energizes me. So you think I stand here and I'm sharing and I'm motivating you, but it does exactly the same thing for me. It makes me like accountable to my goals, feel like phoning, feel like setting an example, getting my family's buy-in. So I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can you please tell us, let's take a picture before she leaves. I think maybe outside is going to be